All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we are in our Unit 1, Section 3. So we are finishing our Unit 1. This is our end of unit project, okay? It's our end of unit project. So you're going to go to your Unit 1, Section 3, and you're going to scroll all the way down, okay? All the way down. And right here, we have our end of unit project, okay? The purpose of this project: students will draw on their knowledge of data analysis to analytically read through an article of their choice and use the food habits data and the time use data to either prove or disprove the article's claims with our data, okay? You're going to be essentially doing this because statistics is about the collection of real data to be analyzed for answering questions, and students must be able to combine to collectively their collective knowledge and processes to analyze their collected data. How are you going to show me that you understand the project? Well, you're going to successfully analyze the claims made in an article, and then you're going to use our collected data to support or disprove the article's claims, okay? So before I move on to talking about the nitty-gritty of our end of Unit 1 project, I do want to point out your Unit 1 Section 3 journal turn-in assignment has been posted. I know some of you guys have been asking me about that. Thank you to the 4 of you that noticed and have already submitted that, okay? So you must please submit your Unit 1 Section 3 journals using our Google LTI feature here. Okay, and again, thank you to the 4 of you that have already submitted that. I do appreciate that, okay? Now, let's take a look at our end of Unit 1 project, you guys. So, are you ready, kids? Aye, aye, Captain. Okay. All right, you, by yourself or with a partner, will be creating a Google Slides presentation using the food habits and time use data in our studio, okay? Now, this is in steps. So, step 1, you are going to read through the requirements presentation, which has the necessary information and requirements for your practicum. So, let's go to our requirements presentation. Here it is, okay? And it's loading. Hi, Chris. Okay, let me go to the front page. So we have our analyzing data to evaluate claims, okay? Hi, Giselle. So let's take a look. We have, congratulations. You are on your way to becoming a data scientist. You have now learned some basic statistics concepts along with our studio skills to help you analyze and interpret data. It is time to apply what you have learned so far. Do you like my announcer voice? Okay. So step number 1, read and use an article. You are going to choose one of the articles listed here. Okay, we have How Americans Eat Today. We have Why Do We Still Eat This Way? We have Americans Snack Differently Than Other Nations. We have The Surprising Amount of Time Kids Spend Looking at a Screen. And finally, we have Youths Spend 7+ hours a day consuming media. Okay, so you are going to choose one of these articles, only one, and you're going to read through it. As you read through it, hi Dario. As you read through it, you are going to analyze the article, okay? So what does that mean, analyzing your article? Okay, it means that we are going to answer the following questions here. What claims did the article make? What claims did the article make? What statistical questions were they trying to answer? Does the article cite data? And if so, who was observed and what were the variables observed, who collected the data, how was the data collected, and what are some statistics that the article used to make the claims. If there was no data, how did the article justify its claim? Okay, so you're going to analyze your article and you're going to answer these questions in your analysis. After you've read and analyzed your article, you are then going to determine whether the class's food habits or time use data, okay, supports, refutes, meaning like goes against, or is inconclusive of the claims that are made in the article. So the article has its own claims and then it's going to justify it with using its information. You are then going to use the food habits or the time use campaign data, and you're going to try to answer the same statistical questions that the article was trying to answer. But this time you're specifically using our collected data. Okay. So if your article is about food, then you're going to use the food habits data, okay? And you're going to do your analysis using the food habits data. So your analysis is going to be, you're going to create at least 2 graphics or plots or tables that support your reasoning, okay? That supports your reasoning for whether you're saying that our data supports it, goes against it, or it doesn't really prove one way or the other, right? So it's inconclusive. If your article was about time use, then you're going to use the time use data. And you're going to do the same thing. You're going to create at least 2 graphics or plots that support your reasoning of supporting the article, going against the article, or it doesn't really clarify one way or the other. Okay. So that's going to be our studio use. Once you're done with your plots and saying, you know what, our data also, our data agrees with the article, our data doesn't agree with the article, it shows something different, or our data, you know, it doesn't really show one way or the other, it's kind of inconclusive. Then you're going to generate other statistical questions, a minimum of 2, that you would like to investigate further after you reach your conclusion. So if our data says, you know what, it goes against what the article was saying, I want you to develop 2 statistical questions, right? At least 2, that you think, you know what, like this would be interesting to look at now that I know that our data doesn't really match up. Or this would be interesting. This is a statistical question I would want to look into. You don't have to answer these questions. You're just coming up with statistical questions that would essentially be follow-up questions to your analysis, okay? So a minimum of 2 there. And then you're going to create and prepare a 2 to 5 minute presentation of your report. Make sure that you refer to your graphics, your plots, and your tables during your presentation. Okay, so let's recap. You are going to choose an article. You are going to read and analyze the article. Then, depending on whether your article is about food or about time use, you are going to use RStudio to determine if our collected data agrees with the article, disagrees with the article, or doesn't really prove one way or the other. Okay? And you're going to create graphics in RStudio, and that's how you're going to determine if it proves, disproves, or doesn't, you know, doesn't go one way or the other. And then you're going to look at your findings, and you're going to write at least 2 additional follow-up statistical questions. And then you're done with your presentation. And then you come to class on Tuesday and Thursday, and you present. Okay? So going back to our project here. The links to the articles are in the requirements presentation, as well as right here in your assignments page, okay? Or the assignment here. So once you've chosen your article, okay, you're gonna make a copy of the end of unit project template. So I have a template for you to begin your presentation. Pay attention to the presentation notes or the speaker notes at the bottom of each slide to know exactly what is expected from each slide, as well as extra credit opportunities, okay? And then of course I have down here the 3 different RStudio code cheat sheets to help you create your graphs more efficiently. Each document offers a unique way of finding your code. Use the cheat sheets. Don't be a hero, people. Use them. They're there for you. And of course, please ask if you have any questions. So really quickly, let's take a look at our end of unit project template. The template is very straightforward and it's a step-by-step process, okay? You're gonna come up with a creative title, obviously give me your names here. And of course you wanna pay attention to the speaker notes that are going to give you more detailed explanations of what is expected on the slide. And of course, opportunities for extra credit here, okay? Choices. So first slide, choices, answer on this slide. Which article did you choose and why did you choose that article? Okay. And then you're going to go into analyzing the article. So the next 2 slides, slides 3 and 4, are the same exact questions that I had on the requirements slideshow. It's just 2 separate slides so that you can actually fit your answers in there. Yes, Dario, exactly. It's a practicum with a real world application. Exactly. And we are essentially connecting it to a bigger set of data, right? We're looking at an article that made claims and we're kind of using our own data to see, do we follow those claims, or does our data show the same thing? Or did our collected data show something different, right? So we're going to analyze our article, and then it goes into your food habits or time use. So obviously edit this slide, this title, to determine which one you're using. You're going to do your graphics here. You can use one slide here, or you can make another slide and do one graphic on each slide. That's completely up to you. You don't have to fit it into one slide. Okay. Yes, Destiny, you can. And then determine, right? So tell me what's your claim. Does our data support it, refute it, or is it inconclusive? Okay, based on our graphs and our information, does it, what's the consensus there? And then over here, generate your statistical questions, a minimum of 2. Look down here, 2 questions is the minimum. 3 to 5 questions means an additional 5 points extra credit. Okay, but again, your statistical questions have to be statistical questions. If they're not statistical questions, just because you wrote down a bunch of questions doesn't mean I'm going to give you extra credit. So you got to actually give me statistical questions, right? All right, ladies and gentlemen, are there any questions? Preguntas, problemas, comentarios. Okay.
No, I got it.
Cool. Yes, you are using the data that you already have. Okay, so you're using our food habits data or our time use data. We're not collecting any new data. We're using the 2 sets of data that we collected on in Unit 1. Okay. No, you do not have to use both food habits and time. You use the data set that is connected to your article. So if your article is about food and like food habits, you're using food habits data. If your article is about the like use of time and media and things like that, then you are going to be using the time use data. Okay. The presentation is 100 points, Gabby. Okay. All good questions. All very good questions. Okay. This is due end of day tomorrow, Destiny. This is due end of day tomorrow. So you will have the rest of the period today to work on it. And you will have all the period tomorrow to work on it. And additionally, if you are working on this with a partner, you can also join me in our tutoring session today, Thursday, during 8th period, and I can send you and your partner off into a breakout room like I'm about to do for some of our partners. I can send you out into a breakout room so you guys have an additional hour to work on it together as well. So there's always that option. So you will have the rest of the period today, and you will have the whole period tomorrow. And it is due at the end of the day tomorrow. Okay, great question. So if you have partners, if you want to partner up with someone, please do let me know. As of right now, the only partners I have as a confirmed is Sarai and Val and Maddie and Katie. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm already going to put you guys in your breakout rooms here so that you guys can get started working. Okay, if anyone else wants to partner up, okay, we're doing maximum of pairs, so 2 people max. Please let me know in the chat and we can make that happen. Just make sure that your partner also wants a partner, because if your partner doesn't want a partner, then you're kind of out of luck. Okay. Okay, Evelyn and Grisel. We can do that. All right. I'm going to open up so that my 3 pairs so far can get started on their projects. So Sarai, Valerie, Katie, Maddie, Evelyn, and Grisel, I'm sending you out into your breakout rooms. Anyone else want to partner up? I'm not kidding, guys. This presentation and project is really simple. It's very straightforward. If you've done your practicums, you're going to ace this. I want you to look at this as Ms. K is giving us a big project at the beginning of the year to help us with our grade. Literally, that's how we're looking at this, okay? No other way. The only people that should be concerned are the people that are not going to do it. Unfortunately, that's what it comes down to, okay? So I'm going to mute myself. If anyone decides that they do want to partner up, all you got to do is write in the chat. If you have questions, please do not hesitate to ask them. One of the questions that someone asked that was really good was about the statistical questions from the articles. A lot of the articles probably do not have the statistical question like explicitly written. So, you know, they don't have like, oh, this was our statistical question. So you may need to backtrack based on the claims. So your statistical question is pretty much in the claim. You just need to reformat the claim as a question. So think about what question would your claim be answering? That's your statistical question, okay? So a lot of times you might end up writing your statistical question, but you're basing it off of the claim that the article is making. On that note as well, there's probably more than one claim that your article is making, which means that you will need to have more than one statistical question if there's more than one claim in your article, okay? Some of the claims or some of the statistical questions, when you go in to analyze it with our data, you may not have the collected data to analyze that statistical question. So you want to make sure you catch all of the claims and write them as statistical questions, because for some of them we may have the data, for some of them we may not. Okay, and you want to focus on the ones that we do have the data for, right? I'm not going to hold you accountable for the ones that we don't have the data for. That's number one. Number two, another great question that was asked was, can we do more than one statistical question when we analyze our data? Absolutely, if we have the data for it. Okay, and when it asks you about who collected the data in the article, you want to make sure you're citing the right people, right? You want to make sure you're citing the people that did the study, because anyone can take a study and publish an article about it, but you want to make sure you're citing the people that actually did the study and that did the work to collect the data. Okay. Does anyone else have other questions that they thought of and that they would like to ask?
Will you be available to email if we have any questions later on today?
Yes, I will be. I don't know how quickly I can respond, but I will be available until about 4:30.
Okay.
Okay. After 4:30, I will be checking on my. I'll check on my phone. I'm not making promises though. But like I said, during 8th period, tutoring 2:15 to 3:15, you're welcome to join me, and I can answer any of your questions then, and you can continue working on your presentation then. Okay. So finding the tutoring link, guys, is very easy. Just click tutoring on our homepage, and it'll take you to the page with the link. Other than that, have a great day. I will see you guys tomorrow. And stay safe, stay healthy. Adios.